The first step that we have to do is to download Ubuntu and VirtualBox. You can use this link to download Ubuntu and this link to download VirtualBox. When downloading VirtualBox, you have to choose one that is appropriate for your OS. Note that it's recommended that you have 8 GB of RAM and a 64-bit OS so that the device can run Ubuntu smoothly. Although 4 GB of RAM and a 32-bit OS is still usable, it will be extremely slow.
Step 2. Install VirtualBox.
Step 3. Run VirtualBox.
The next step is creating a new virtual machine. To do this, just click on New and fill in the required details. Note that we want to install Ubuntu unattendedly, so make sure that the checkbox to skip the unattended installation is left unchecked. If you choose to skip the unattended installation, you will have to manually install Ubuntu later.
Step 5. Create user profile. Note that there are already default credentials in here for username and password, which are VBox user and change me respectively. And it is important to change these values since the defaults will create a user without sudo access.
For step 6, specify the resources to be used by the virtual machine, such as 8 GB of RAM, 4 CPUs, and 25 GB of ROM is recommended. Note that 4 GB of RAM is still usable. For step 7, click Start to launch the virtual machine. On first boot, the unattended installation will kick in, so do not interact with the prompt to try and install Ubuntu. Let it progress automatically to the splash screen and into the installer. If you chose not to use unattended install, then you will need to progress through the Ubuntu install manually. Once the installation completes, the machine will automatically reboot to complete the installation.
After the installation and reboot, you will be greeted with a login screen where you can enter the username and the password that you set up earlier.
And lastly, explore and enjoy.